Greetings, I'm Slice, and today I'm going to be showing you all of the locations for the Scadutree Fragments in Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. I will also be collecting the Revered Spirit Ash. The first thing that we're going to be doing is grab the map at the Graveside Plains. The first location for a fragment is actually on the right side of the Scorched Ruins Site of Grace. So we're going to jump on our horse and we're going to head over there. Go ahead and kill the enemy that is holding up a jar on its head or a shadow pot, and it will drop a Scadutree Fragment. If you're not fast enough, it will throw it on the ground and you will have to reset. So keep that in mind. Next up, we're gonna grab a Spirit Ash that is located southeast from this location. We're just gonna keep riding here to the corner of the map where you see this little altar. This will increase the damage that your summons deal and your spirits. The next location for a Scadutree Fragment is located down here. So follow the steps here. We're gonna travel east from the Scorched Ruins. We're gonna follow the main path here, and there will be some items on the floor. Just keep going down the hill, down the path, and into the church. You will find a fragment inside the church. Next location will be northwest at the 3-path cross Site of Grace. This is the location. It will be in front of the Michaela's cross. From the same location, the 3-path cross Site of Grace, we're gonna travel west into this large archway and up the hill. Up the large stairs and to the Site of Grace, there will be another cross. The Scadutree Fragment will be right next to the cross, of course. This place is called the Main Gate Cross. So from the Main Gate Cross, we are going to travel to this location that I've marked. So follow the path and eventually we will find a graveyard with a bunch of enemies. One of these enemies will be holding a shadow pot. Keep following the cliffside and eventually you will find a Site of Grace. Make sure you sit down here, and this is called the Cliff Road Terminus. From here we're going to travel west and we are going to look for an enemy that's holding a pot on its head. After that fragment, from the same Site of Grace, we are going to head to southeast to this little water pond. There will be another Spirit Ash. The next fragment is located from the 3-path cross across the bridge next to a statue of Marika. This location is known as Castle Front. Remember that for later. So once again, from the 3-path cross, we're gonna travel north. And we are looking for another Spirit Ash. So keep going north towards the village. Keep going north in the Ailing village, and eventually you will find a statue surrounded by flymen. This is a Revered Spirit Ash. Next up, from the Castle Front Site of Grace, we are going to travel east. And we're looking for another cross. Follow the path east to find this cross and the Site of Grace. Keep following the path southeast, eventually you will find Theolie. He is an NPC. And a cross. Make sure you examine the cross and acquire the new Scadutree Fragment. This place is known to us as Pillar Path Cross. From the Pillar Path Cross, we are gonna go back and we're gonna travel northwest. As you can see there on the top of your screen, you have a compass, so follow these directions or just do as I do. Stick to the right side of this cliffside and we're gonna go down to the swamp area and into a cave. So very carefully climb down this cliffside, and when you're eventually down to where the flowers are, travel west into this cave and you will find another statue with the Revered Spirit Ash. This is called the Elec Cave, River Cave. So for the next fragment, we are going to travel from the Elec River Cave to Cerulean Coast. If you already have this site of grace, just travel to Cerulean Coast, but if you don't, then please make sure you travel on your horse and perform this jumping puzzle. Watch how you might fall. But yeah, so I've sped the footage up. But this is pretty much how you get to the Cerulean Coast, which is the next big open world area. So once we reach the bottom here, we're going to stick to the right. We're going to stick to the right and keep going. We're going to keep going here and eventually there will be a site of grace. It's okay if one of the columns hits you, don't worry. But anyway, we're gonna travel south, and there it is, Cerulean Coast. From the Cerulean Coast side of grace, we can just go ahead and grab the map of the area, if you want to. The next fragment is located in the Cerulean Coast, in a cave. So we're gonna travel to the Cerulean Coast side of grace and follow the path. Travel northwest until you're in a cave. And watch out, there might be a strong foe ahead that you. So you can avoid this enemy or you can take him out. But yeah, after you're done with him, take a left from here and go into the cave surrounded by the little spirits. The little spirit worms. This is where you can find the Scadutree Fragment. So we are going to head back to the Cerulean Coast side of grace and we're going to travel north. Travel north until you find a site of grace and a Miquella's cross. So this place is called Cerulean Coast Cross, site of grace. So now we should be ready to face our first boss. From the castle front, we are going to head across the bridge here. And we are going to complete the entire area of the Council Ensis. Right before the Relana boss fight, there is a Scadutree Fragment that you can acquire. This is how you get it. Keep going up the hill, straight forward, and you'll find the site of grace and the cross with the Scadutree Fragment. This area is called Castle Ensis Checkpoint. After you defeat Relana, Twin Moon Knight, there will be a site of grace and a Scadutree Fragment. This site of grace is called High Road Cross. From this site of grace, the High Road Cross, we're going to go ahead and grab the Scadu Altus map. With the map in hand, we're gonna continue going towards this campsite place where all these soldiers are. Just travel north towards the giant fire golem. The Scadutree Fragment will be in front of a statue of Marika, very close to the map fragment. From this area, we are going to travel west towards the church. This church actually looks like a cross, so there will be an invader inside of this church, so be very, very careful. So make sure you are prepared for the fight. The Church of the Crusade.
My words, graceless heathen, thou shalt not evade the flame of Mesmer.
You can find the fragment in front of the statue of Marika in the Church of the Crusade. From here, we can travel northeast towards this little pond of water. There will be another Scadutree Fragment in front of the statue of Marika, right outside of this cave, right next to all these flowers. Once again, this is the open world, so it's very easy and very accessible, as long as you've defeated Rolana. From the High Road Cross, we're going to travel east towards these tents, where a bunch of soldiers are hanging out. There will be another statue of Marika with another fragment right here. From this location, we're going to travel east towards the new cross at the Morth Ruins. Remember the Morth Ruins because we will be back. Anyway, the next fragment will be right here, next to the cross. From the More Ruins side of Grace, we're going to travel southeast, and we are looking for an enemy with a shadow pot on its head. So we're gonna take him out before he even throws that, and there's a Scadutree Fragment. From the Morth Ruin site of Grace, we are looking for a hole in the ground. So we're gonna travel east. We're gonna travel east, and we're looking for an underground area, like this one. You can only access it through this part, otherwise you will take fatal damage. So the reason I brought you here is because we need a set of grace called Bonnie Village, and this is the only way of accessing this area. So we're gonna run past all these enemies, and there will be a ladder eventually through the caves that will lead you to the site of grace. So from the Bonnie Village side of Grace, we are going to look for a Spirit Ash. So it is located in this little river part, right where the river used to be. So we're gonna jump down where the broken down bridge is, grab all the items, and then run west with your horse, and eventually you will find a statue with a Revered Spirit Ash. Next up, from the Morth Highway side of Grace, past the Ghost Flame Dragon, we're gonna head back, go west, sorry. And then, we're looking for a Spirit Spring nearby. It should be facing east. To activate it, just keep going towards this cliffside, and find the little pile of rocks, located right here. Just destroy it however you want, and then go back to the Spirit Spring. This wind that you see on the floor, yeah? Jump there with your horse, and then keep traveling south, following the path. Eventually you will find a set of grace with a statue or a cross of Miquella with the fragment waiting right next to it. So next up we have the Belurat settlement, where Moor and Anspac are. Main gate cross, we're gonna go up the big stairs into the Scorpion area, and we can find another Spirit Ash. Don't forget to take out all the enemies, and you can find the Spirit Ash fragment in the middle of the room at the statue. You can't miss this. As you go through this area, there will be a room full of little spiders and the bone bow. We're gonna grab the bone bow, and then after we're done with this area, we're gonna go back out and climb up this rubble. Keep going forward, be careful for the fly enemies here, and eventually you will find the Scadutree Fragment next to a Michaela's cross. This area might be a little bit difficult for you to find. If you need any more help, please let me know. It's actually more easy than you think. So from this same area, we're going to jump down where all the flies are. Take them all out or run past them. Go up towards this water thing and towards the ladder. Go up the ladder and eventually you will find a enemy with a shadow pot. Break it to get the Revered Spirit Ash. In the same exact area where all these birds are, we are going to go up the staircase and across the bridge. Take a left and grab the Spirit Ash. That's located right here. It is around this tree where all these people are praying or whatever. So it should be easy to find. After you defeat the Divine Beast, the Dancing Lion, at the Theater of the Dancing Beast, we are going to travel towards this new area that you can access. It has an elevator in it. Go up the elevator and you will be able to find a hallway that leads you to two giant double doors. Behind this double door to the right, there will be a Revered Spirit Ash. From the High Road Cross, we're going to travel to Shadowkeep. Traveling to Shadowkeep will break a spell and make other areas accessible, so keep that in mind. Keep traveling west and go up the big elevator. Prepare for a boss fight. This boss drops Scadutree Fragments. After that, we're going to travel to Cerulean Coast Cross, and we're going to travel towards the Fissure. The Fissure is located in the bottom peninsula of the map. It is the southmost peninsula of this entire Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. Once you're there, make sure you know what you're doing, because you might actually fall into the void. So just follow the platforms, head down to the Side of Grace, and get the next Side of Grace as well. Keep traveling through the dungeon and towards east, and eventually you will find a Side of Grace with a cross and a Scadutree Fragment. Next up, after we defeated the hippo, we are actually going to go into the Shadow Keep. Progress through the area until you reach this part with all of these ships or boats on fire. Defeat the enemies or just run past them, and then ultimately get to this part of the map where there's a ladder. Or after you defeat the guy with the red robe, we can actually go west from here, and there is a staircase, and we can just roll down here and follow this path to the next fragment. So we're gonna keep going here until we see a waterfall or some kind of sewage thing. So we're gonna go past the water here behind it, and we're gonna very carefully get behind this ladder and climb it down. After we climb it down, we will reach the next area for our fragment here. After you jump down in the coffin, you will have arrived at the Castle Watering Hole side of Grace. From here we can grab a Revered Spirit Ash by going forward to this location. From the same location, we are going to continue forward here southwest towards this waterfall. Stick to the left and you will find a site of grace. Activate it. And then from here, we are going to get on our horse and travel to the next location. This is all necessary to show you how to get to this area. So continue going on south here, and then eventually you will have to jump across the rocks here. Jump across the rocks when you see the insects enemies. And we're gonna continue onwards here until we see a site of grace. Sit down at the site of grace. This is the Recluse's river downstream. And from here, we can actually make our way down these graves that are on the side of the mountain. Once we are fully down here, we're going to go to the next location. You can find a hippo here that will drop a Scadutree Fragment. Head towards the waterfall in the nearby water area and take out the hippo for this fragment. Next up, in the same exact area, you can find yet another hippo that will drop another fragment upon defeating it. From this same exact area, we're going to travel west and jump down these graves on the side of the mountain. Make your way down there and you will find the Darklight Catacombs. We're not quite ready to go in there yet, but go down the elevator and get to the site of grace so we can teleport here later. After that, we're going to teleport back to the Recluse's river upstream, and then we're going to go around the rock formations towards these spectral. We are looking for a ledge around here where all these birds are that has an item. This will be the dry leaf seal. So, towards west, just look very, very carefully. Make sure you take these guys out. Jump towards where this item is, right here on the map. And it is a dry leaf seal. This means you're going the right way. So from here, we're gonna very carefully jump down the rocks into the ravine towards this river downstream. Keep going north from here and you will find a fragment in a coffin. This is optional, but we're gonna travel to the Bonnie village. From the Bonnie village, we are looking for an emote or a gesture called Oh Mother. From the Bonnie village, travel west towards this tree, and the item will be the gesture. This gesture is used to open a gate later. So the next fragment. To get to the next area, we have to travel from the bridge leading to the village side of Grace. In the Bonnie village, just travel across the bridges and keep going west. Follow the path. You will go past a fire giant. So keep going until you find yet another side of Grace. So for reference, this is right outside Count Emir's mansion or cathedral. Right here. From the Church District High Road side of Christ that we just got, we're going to continue northwest into this tunnel. In this tunnel, we will be able to reach another side of grace. This is the Shadow Keep Church District. Now, in this area, you have to lower the water level. So, there are some missable items that if you don't grab them while the water is up, you will miss out on them. None of them are Scadutree Fragments though, so don't worry about that. Anyway, here is a quick showcase on how to do this entire area and lower the water level. So once we reach this part, this is where the lever is. So run across this little stone bridge and lower the water level. After that, we're gonna head back into that hallway that we came from, where all these red guys are. Watch out, they might be dangerous. And then there is a Scadutree Fragment right here in the hand of the statue of Marika. So jump down on it and grab it. It's better to do this after the water has been lowered, that way you don't die, and you can retry as many times as you want. After that, we're going to go to the Shadow Keep. Run through the Shadow Keep area and across this statue and to the side of grace. This will be another location for another cross. This is called the 4th floor, or the storehouse 4th floor. This is another Michaela's cross. And there you go, Scadutree Fragment. So before we forget, from the storehouse 1st floor, we're gonna go up to this altar with this beast, and we're going to get on top of it. You can find a Spirit Ash right next to its shoulder or on his back. From the storehouse 7th floor, side of grace, we're going to travel northeast or east, past the Red Knight or the Fire Knight, whatever it is called. You will find yet another statue hanging from the ceiling. Jump across here on the railing and on top of the beast, and you can get another Revered Spirit Ash. So, right at the end of the area of the Shadow Keep, after you traverse the entire Shadow Keep, or right before the boss fight battle, there will be a large metal door and the statue of Marika. You cannot miss this. This is right before Messmer. This is where you find another Scadutree Fragment right here. This is right before the side of grace that leads to Messmer's boss fight. The next fragment, from the Sunken Chapel, Shadow Keep Church District, we're going to travel east into the large church. This is where you found Annul's Erdtree spirit boss, so hopefully you defeated it. Anyway, into the chapel or church, go up the elevator towards this red guy. Remember this part where we got that first fragment? Instead, we're gonna go right here and go up the elevator. Once you go up the elevator, you will be back in the Shadow Keep. We are looking for another side of grace. It should be nearby here. There we go. And this is called the Shadow Keep Storehouse back section. From here, we're gonna go up the ladder. Go up the ladder and we are looking for some wooden staircases. So right here, east from the ladder, climb the stairs, keep going towards these bookshelves, which are very reminiscent of the Grand Library from Dark Souls 3, or the Grand Archives, sorry, and take a right here. Jump out of the window. So we're gonna jump out of the window and follow this wooden path here to take us to the next area. So following this path will take us to another side of grace. This is called the Storehouse Loft side of grace. There will be an elevator nearby. We're gonna go up it and follow this very dangerous area. So I have sped up the footage here, but you can slow it down if you want. But anyway, just go around, grab all the items. There aren't any fragments here, but there might be some incantations and spells that you might want here. But essentially, we need to go across this entire area. Just complete this area until you get to a point here. There's some bonus weapons here and some spells and ashes. But essentially, we need this elevator down. And then we're gonna go back up. Essentially, once we are fully done with everything, we are looking for a balcony. This balcony will take us back outside. There aren't any elevators that you need to take down. This is all just for these extra items including runes and things like that. But yeah, so go back up and you'll know you're there once you reach an area with this balcony out here with the yellow light that leads outside to another wooden platform. And here we go. We're gonna travel to east and we have an elevator here. This elevator will take us down to where we need to be. I know that was a very long journey, but this is just the only way to do this. This place can be very, very confusing, so hopefully you guys understood slightly, you know, kind of how we have to approach this. But yeah, there's a lot of nooks and crannies and hidden paths and windows and things like that. Anyway, we're gonna follow the wooden path again, and we are going to go down this elevator that's at the end of the wooden path. Go down the elevator and you'll get another site of grace. This site of grace is called the Shadowkeep Back Gate. This is where you find another fragment in front of the stake of Marika. So, this statue of Marika can be opened if you perform the Oh Mother gesture, which should take you to another section of the map if you so desire. This isn't necessary for us. So from this side of grace, fight Commander Gaius by walking outside next to the summoning pool. After you defeat him, get the side of grace right here. This side of grace will also lead us to another archway located right here. We're going up following the path north towards this large building with a large archway. This archway will lead us to 5 fragments. Keep going up until you find the Lord Vessel and grab all 5 Scadutree Fragments. It was worth it in the end, wasn't it? So after we defeat Mesmer, hopefully you've defeated him, we're going to travel back to the Darklight Catacombs. Go through this area, fight the boss, and you will find yourself in the Abyss. After the Elder Inquisitor fight, you will be now at the Forsaken Graveyard in the Abyss. This area is very dangerous, so pay attention, sneak around, use the grass to get around. So once you're in the Abyss, you can grab the map to navigate this area slightly better, so that's what we're gonna do. So, getting the map will lead you to the abandoned church. We can grab the Scadutree Fragment here, inside of the church, and that's it. The next fragment is located here. I'll show you in a second, but yeah, essentially we had to fight these inquisitors that are guarding it, or you can just run in and grab it anyway. It is located in a corner of the map that I will show you in a second. It'll be right next to a body by this tree right here. By traveling south from this area. And this is the location right there in the Abyss. South in the Abyss, you will find a mansion called Man's Hall. Once you go through this area, near the end, you will find this large enemy. This large enemy needs to be defeated because he will drop a Revered Spirit Ash. Of course, if you don't care about summons, you can skip this, but I wanted to include the ashes in this video. So go through this area, there's a few levers that you have to pull and things like that. There are a total of 2 Revered Ashes in this Man's Hall. So if you are only going for Scadutree Fragments, you can skip this part completely. Next up, we're gonna go right before the boss fight. There will be a Revered Ash on top of the chandelier. Before that though, kick down the ladder just in case. From the West Rampart site of Grace, we are going to travel to the Viaduct Minor Tower site of Grace. Run across the bridge and you'll find this site of Grace. Eventually, right outside this site of Grace, we'll go left and go down the elevator. Defeat the enemies and go into this square hole. Through the square hole, you'll find your favorite animal, a hippo. The hippo will drop Scadutree Fragments. So defeat him and you will get the items. It's only 1. So we're gonna teleport back to the Viaduct Minor Tower, and this time we're gonna go west instead of left, or right instead of left, I guess. We're gonna go past the summoning pool, across this archway. We are looking for a shadow pot head enemy, so you have to be very, very, very quick. So we're gonna go into this building, travel west. Do not miss him. So he will be right here, shining, pot in hand. Take him out and he will drop a Revered Spirit Ash. Progress through the area until you reach this open room, and there will be another Scadutree Fragment enemy holding the shadow pot on its head, located right here. There we go. You cannot miss it. It's in this open area with windows. After that, we're gonna continue onwards until we reach this green grass area. So as long as you complete the Scadutree or the Rao base area, you will find all of these sites of grace and all of these locations, so make sure you explore everything. We are looking for Miquella's Cross and the next shadow, the next site of grace, located right here, right after the knight that you just saw. There will be a letter, a site of grace, and Miquella's Cross will hold the Scadutree Fragment. This place is called the Rao Ancient Ruins East. From this site of grace, we are looking for more fragments. So we're gonna run across this bridge where the giant fire golem is shooting at you. You can choose to take him out and he will not respawn. But mind you, this will take forever. So, but you will be rewarded with a physic flask tier. So it's up to you if you want to take him out or not. You can just run past him otherwise. After you defeat the golem, or if you decide to run past him, we're gonna head towards the south. So look at your compass, we're going south. We're going south looking for a site of grace. The site of grace is very important. So we're gonna head across here and we find the next site of grace right here. Rao Ancient Ruins West. That's what it's called. So next up, from this side of grace, we're going to travel into this dark building where all these enemies are throwing the blood thing. Anyway, we're gonna run to this area and there will be a Scadutree Fragment in the middle of this altar right here. Next up, the Revered Spirit Ash will be located in this gazebo around the area with water. There will be a knight here. If you want, you can take him out, but watch out. Next up, we're gonna go back to the Rao base, and we're gonna go up this elevator. Up this elevator, there will be shadow pot head enemy that we need to take out, and they will drop a Revered Spirit Ash. So after we defeat Romina, Saint of the Bud, which is the boss fight of this area, we are going to head to the site of grace in her boss fight arena. This is going to be our checkpoint. So we're going to continue onwards after the site of grace south, and we're going to burn the tree here. This will lead us to Inner Ilim. Go through this area, or alternatively, travel to the Theater of the Divine Beast. Go up the elevator and go up the stairs. Eventually, you will see a newly opened area. This area will have a big elevator in it. This elevator will take you to another section of Inner Ilim. From the first rise site of grace, we're going to continue onwards here. We're going to go into this outside area with the sand and all the trees. We're going to enter this right side chamber. There will be lots of enemies, lots of inquisitors, but we are looking for a large enemy. That's right. Defeat the large enemy and he will drop the Revered Spirit Ash. From this exact area, travel southeast until you see stairs behind the fountain and this large tree. We're looking for a bunch of enemies that look like flies. These enemies will be guarding a Revered Spirit Ash as well. Right here, you will see them praying around it, so you cannot miss it. There we go, it's right there. Watch out, some of them will grab you if you're not paying attention. And the Revered Spirit Ash will be at the statue. After we continue up the stairs, past the Horned Knight, past the enemy that casts spells from underneath your feet, we are looking for a large double door. This double door will lead us to the next site of grace. But be careful though, the spiral faith incantations will deal a lot of damage, so if you die here, don't feel too bad because I've died here like 10 times. So don't worry, it's very tough. This will be the site of grace. Next to the site of grace, we have yet another Michaela's cross that will have another Scadutree fragment. This is the Spiral Rise site of grace. From the Spiral Rise site of grace, we're gonna head towards the next area. So we're gonna go up outside the window. Keep going across the roofs until you find the grave birds. They will give you some trouble if you're not a ranged and build like I am. So yeah, I struggle a little bit here in this area, but don't worry, it's fine. So we're gonna head towards the next area. So we're gonna continue onwards here across the rooftops, and we are looking for this room right here with the bird. And to the left here, there will be another Revered Spirit Ash on the statue right there. And next up, we are gonna continue in this area. Still in this area, we are looking for a Scadutree. Proceed up the staircase and up the ladder. So there will be a jump spot here to some staircases that will lead to the ladder east. Remember, after you reach up the ladder, the first staircase, sorry, we're gonna travel east, and then you'll find the Horned Warrior Ashes, neutralizing boluses and some stanching boluses. We're gonna go up the ladder here. We are looking for the next tower. So we are climbing up the tower. Eventually you'll find another set of ladders. We're gonna go up the 2 ladders, and then eventually you'll be back on the rooftops, and there will be another annoying beast knight, whatever it is called. Take him out if you can. But don't feel bad because this guy is incredibly difficult to take out. But anyway, that will be the second to last one, I think. And we are looking for the Scadutree Fragment. So we're going to travel across the rooftops, and eventually you will find this fragment located in this area. And then we're going to continue to this tower, okay? Don't forget the tower, located west, next to this dead tree. And we have another Scadutree Fragment located right there. Progress through the area until you reach a very large open area with the Horned Warrior, the one that uses the tornado and the wind style stuff. We're gonna go up the large staircase leading up to another fragment. This fragment is located at the Cleansing Chamber side of grace. Scadutree Fragment right there. It's one of the last ones you have to pick up. Before we continue though, from the Spiral Rise side of grace, we're gonna go down the staircase. We're looking for a ledge. We're looking for a ledge here around the drawstring golden grease item, and you can see that staircase right there. So we're gonna go next to the staircase and actually jump down to this little ledge here. And we're gonna continue here. And inside this room, there will be yet another summon, the Inquisitor Ashes. And then we're gonna proceed very carefully. Go back outside where you came from and jump down on the staircase that you see down below with this item. We're gonna go into the circular room here, and continue very, very carefully, because what you're about to do is going to be unbelievable, okay? So I need you to put your big gamer pants on here, because this is going to be very tough. So, jump down on this ledge here. Follow the items and the messages. Jump across, grab the item, and then jump down where you see the arch has a little broken thing. You can grab these items as well if you care about smithing stones and things like that, but what we're looking for is more fragments. So we're going to continue walking across this ledge until you see this dead end. So you can see this message here across. That's where we need to go. So jump across it and then jump down. Or you can just jump directly down. So very, very carefully, we're going to proceed to the right here. Grab the Lord Sworn's bolt, and then we can roll down. Okay, don't be afraid. Just roll down. Okay, and then we're proceeding here. We're going to jump across to where this broken down wall is. We're going to jump down. Sorry, we're going to jump down. Watch out, there's enemies that will hit you as soon as you hit down. As soon as you jump down. And we're going to take them out. There's an item here, so we're going to grab the item first and foremost. And then for the biggest test of your life, more jumping. The final jump, okay? We're going to go across here where you see this marker with a blue light. We need to land inside that window, okay? So land inside the window. And we're going to roll downstairs. There's no other way to go. Continue down the hallway with the statues until you find yourself outside. There will be another monument with the Scadutree Fragment in front of it. Congratulations. Watch out, there's a spider that can do this to you. So at this point, you should be strong enough to take on that dragon area. So the dragon area is actually the final area that I will be showing you, or among some of the missable ones that you could have missed at the beginning. So we're going to travel to the Dragon Pit Terminus Site of Grace. To get to the Site of Grace, you have to follow the dragon statues from the Castle Front Site of Grace, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, once you get to the Dragon Pit Terminus, there will be a dragon fight here waiting for you. After you defeat the dragon, we're going to head towards this large path, this large archway. Go across it until you find a spirit spring. So this spirit spring will be further up after you're done running across the cliffside. Just go up the spirit spring. Keep going, keep going. There will be a large bridge and a Set of Grace. The Jagged Peak Site of Grace, or the foot of the Jagged Peak Site of Grace. Keep going forward up the Spirit Spring. After you talk to Egon and after you defeat the two dragons, he will tell you to summon him. We don't have to do any of that to get this next fragment, but we have to traverse this area to get it. So it's a bit annoying. So we're going to continue onwards here east towards the Spirit Spring, and we're going to jump with your horse. Once again, horse only. And another one right here. Jump again. Yep, there you go. Right there. And you will reach this area. So we're going to continue going here. There's some items here that you can pick up. And yeah, so we're going to continue. Just keep going up. There's only one way, so you can't really miss it. Once you reach this large cave, stick to the left. Okay, there will be a hidden path here, a shortcut, so to speak. Otherwise, you will be killed by the large boulder that gets thrown down. So, as you can see there, my camera is shaking because of the boulder. So we're gonna go left and towards this little item. This item right here. And this will be the only Scadutree Fragment in this entire area. Located right here on the map. In case you want to confirm, right there. So, from the Dragon's Pit Terminus Site of Grace. For this part where I told you to go left towards that archway, this time instead though we are going to go right. We're gonna go right south, I guess. But yeah, so we're gonna head towards these dragon statues, okay? South. Always go south from here until you reach the large dragon, and the priestess will be waiting right here. This will be the Grand Altar of Dragon Communion. From here, we're going to climb up the dragon and head southwest. We're going to head southwest and then we're going to take a left, okay? So to make it safely down there, you have to follow this path. Otherwise, you can just jump and risk it and take damage, but this is the safe way. We're gonna head south now after you get to the red flowers or the red grass. And here we are at Charo's hidden grave. From the Charo's hidden grave, a site of grace, we are going to look for another hippo. This hippo is located here. We're gonna travel northwest from the site of grace towards the deathbirds and this pool of water. Take out the hippo and he will drop the Scadutree Fragment. So that is going to be all of the fragments in the game. If you don't have 20 in your Scadutree Fragments blessing, please refer to the wiki linked in the description of this video. Let me know if you enjoyed this video by subscribing, leave a like, comment down below, please comment anything, and I will see you in the next one. I have more videos for Elden Ring guides, so check them out. See you next time, bye bye.